Hey guys, welcome back to Mr. Rel's Tuition. In this video, we're going to be looking at the prevention of rusting. We're going to be looking at the chemistry of the prevention of rusting. We will look at many different methods, including galvanization as well as alloying. So stay tuned. First, we look at the simplest method that can be done by anybody at home. So let's look at the conditions necessary for rusting. Rusting requires the presence of water and oxygen in air. So if you're worrying what this diagram is about, then I've done a video on it. I've done another lesson on it. The link's at the corner. You can visit it after the end of this video. So for this rusting to happen, water and oxygen needs to be present. They need to be in contact with iron, in fact. In order for us to prevent rusting, a very simple method is to prevent the contact of water and oxygen and iron. So we block this place here, the surface here, where water and oxygen can come into contact with iron. So there are several different ways of doing this. The first one, the simplest one, is by using paint, which is what we all do. I painted my gate to prevent rusting, right? We paint gate and cars as well. When you paint cars, we are preventing the body from rusting. So this is the coat of paint here on the iron, and this prevents water and oxygen from coming into contact with iron. It's the same principle all throughout. Then we have grease. Grease is normally used in moving parts such as gears, gate hinges, any machine parts, right? Grease also same function. It forms a layer that prevents water and oxygen from coming into contact with iron. And there's another way as well, plastic. When you have small household items, they are built with a metal frame, but they're covered with plastic, such as clothes hangers. So here the small objects, the plastic, same. It's a barrier to prevent oxygen and water from coming into contact with iron. Now, this is the simplest method. Now we come to using less electropositive metals compared to iron. So if you're wondering about electropositivity, you can check out the video on ECS. The link is at the corner. Now, when we are using a less electropositive metal is less likely to donate its electrons, and so it is less likely to become corroded. How does this help preventing iron from rusting? This concept is that we coat iron with the less electropositive metal. For example, tin. Tin is a less electropositive metal compared to iron, and so it is resistant to oxidation by water and oxygen. So even though it is in contact with water and oxygen like this, then it will not corrode. It will not dissociate to become tin ions. So here this process is known as tin plating. Tin plating means coating the whole iron, the whole object made of iron, with a thin layer of tin here, like this. So when tin has contact with water and oxygen, there's no problem, nothing happens. However, there is a downside to tin plating in that if the coating is broken, if the tin coat is broken, then iron will rust even faster. Rusting will take place even faster. Because of the difference in electropositivity between iron and tin, the electrons from iron will move to tin even faster. It will go out even faster because of the difference in electropositivity compared to just iron by itself. So that is the downside of tin plating. But as long as the coat is not broken like this, then iron will be prevented from rusting. Another method is called chromium plating. Chromium plating is also known as chrome plating. I'm sure you've seen objects that are made of chrome, right? Chrome on grills of the car bumpers, car handles, bathroom fixtures, kitchen fixtures, chrome pipes, right? So chrome plating is actually chromium plating. Chromium is a metal, of course, it's a transition metal. Chromium will form chromium oxide when in contact with air and water. So remember what rust is. Rust is hydrated iron oxide. Chromium also forms an oxide. But the difference between the chromium oxide and the iron oxide is that chromium oxide is resistant to corrosion. Chromium oxide will form a barrier on the surface that is impenetrable to water and oxygen, compared to iron trioxide. Rust still allows water and oxygen to go through. So even though the surface has rusted, water and oxygen can still go through the rust on the surface and continue to corrode the iron layers at the bottom. However, chromium oxide here is impenetrable to water and oxygen, meaning that it doesn't allow water and oxygen to go through. So once it forms the oxide layer at the surface, it is like a barrier. It already blocks away rusting. It blocks away the water and oxygen and prevents rusting of iron underneath. That's the difference. So this is chromium plating. So we have tin plating and chromium plating. It's a different concept. Tin plating, the tin is resistant to corrosion. Galvanization. Galvanization is a method where we use a metal that is more electropositive instead of less electropositive. So how does this work? If the metal is more electropositive, then it is more likely to corrode. When we coat iron with a more electropositive metal, then that metal will act as a sacrificial metal. That metal will corrode instead of iron. So galvanization is coating iron with zinc. We coat the whole object that's made of iron into zinc. This is normally done by dipping into molten zinc. Melt the zinc until it becomes molten form. Dip the iron object inside, and then we have a coat of zinc around it. Another way is by using electroplating. So we plate the iron with zinc. Zinc is on the outer surface. So like this, zinc is on the surface. Zinc is more electropositive than iron, so it will corrode instead of iron. So it will take the place of iron in corroding. Because of this, zinc is also called the sacrificial metal in this case, because it is sacrificing itself, it is corroding itself instead of iron. This method is also known as cathodic protection, because when zinc is in contact with iron, zinc is the more electropositive metal and therefore it will donate the electron instead of iron. When zinc donates the electron, it becomes the anode, because anode is the place where electrons are donated, which makes iron the cathode. Iron will be receiving the electron instead of donating the electron. So this is why we call it cathodic protection. Now this process is similar to galvanization, but we don't coat the whole object. So here, zinc bars on ships. I don't know if you've ever noticed in pictures, if you see at the bottom, at the hull of the ship, there will be a bar, a metal bar. This is a zinc bar. And the reason for this is that zinc is more, same reason, zinc is more electropositive than iron. And so zinc will corrode instead of iron. So zinc will act as the sacrificial metal again. So notice here, zinc does not have to coat the whole object. As long as zinc is in contact with the iron, and when it is in water, whenever there is a corrosion of the metal, zinc will be chosen instead of iron, because zinc is more electropositive. So zinc will be the one that is going to be donating the electrons away instead of iron. So it's the same concept here. This is also known as cathodic protection here. Another method is by attaching magnesium blocks to underground pipes. This is an iron pipe underground, and then this is a magnesium block that is attached to it. So once again, magnesium is more electropositive than iron. So magnesium will corrode instead of the iron and act as the sacrificial metal. This is called cathodic protection. Here again, there is no coating. It just has to be in contact. As long as there is a conductor and it is in contact with the pipe, whenever iron is about to corrode, magnesium will be corroded instead, because it is more electropositive and therefore it will be the one to donate the electron rather than iron. Now the last method here is alloying. So what is alloying? Alloying is the process of creating alloys. The main metal that we use here is iron. So stainless steel is an alloy of iron. Stainless steel contains, the main component is iron. Then they add a small percentage, 10 to 20% of nickel and 10 to 25% of chromium here. But in this case, in the case of prevention of rusting, what is the point of this? Why is stainless steel resistant to corrosion, resistant to rusting? Because of the chromium. The chromium here again, similar to the chrome plating just now, chromium will form chromium oxide. and that layer of chromium oxide will be impenetrable to oxygen and water, and therefore it will protect the iron on the layers below. So that's why stainless steel is resistant to rusting as well. So I have a question for you. If iron is so troublesome, we have to do so many things just to prevent its damage, why don't we use any other metal? Why do we insist on using iron? Comment on what you think the answer is down below. That's it for today, guys. If you've learned something, please hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It really does help to support me, and I'll see you in the next video.